started. Good evening and welcome to the Holocaust Memorial and Tolerance Center's conversation with silver artist Michael Galmer about his sculpture Tears of the Holocaust. My name is Thorin Tritter. I am the Museum and Programming Director at the Center for, at the Holocaust Memorial and Tolerance Center of Nassau County, located in Glen Cove, New York. Before I talk about our program tonight, I wanted to put in a plug for a couple of our other upcoming programs this week. Tomorrow at 11 o'clock, I'll be holding the next edition of my weekly Curator's Corner, a series of short programs about individual objects in the museum's collection. My program this week, tomorrow, will be focusing on a wedding dress that was brought to America from Holland by newlyweds who managed to escape from Europe just ahead of the Nazi invasion. And this Thursday, October 1st at 6 p.m., we'll be offering the first of two programs to mark Hispanic Heritage Month. This week's is a talk by Cristina Chavarria, a staff member at the U.S. Holocaust Museum and Memorial down in Washington, D.C., who will present a program entitled The Latin American Response to the Holocaust, the Examples of the Dominican Republic and Mexico. So I hope you'll be interested in those topics. You can find a full list of our programs on our website at www.hmtcli.org under the Events tab. Okay, let's talk about this evening's program. This evening we are honored to have with us one of the premier silver and metal artists in America, Michael Galmer, who in 2017 donated a work entitled Tears of the Holocaust to our museum. The sculpture stands in the entrance to our building, and while many people admire its beauty and craftsmanship, tonight we get a chance to learn more about how it was conceived by the artist who made it. Let me add a couple of other comments about logistics before I introduce our guest. First, we're going to start this evening with a 6-minute interview conducted with Michael Galmer by his granddaughter, and she asks him about this sculpture in particular. After the interview, Michael will join us for an open conversation where we encourage you, the viewer, to post questions in the Q&A function of Zoom for him to respond to. So just scroll your mouse over the bottom or top of the screen, find the Q&A button. If you type in a question, and then Michael Galmer will respond to that in the period after we show this interview. I have a few questions of my own, but we hope that you will contribute questions that you have for the artist and make this a really interactive program. Finally, I hope to be able to show you a few more images of Tears of the Holocaust and some images of a few of his more recent works. Okay, so that's our plan this evening. And at this point, let me introduce our guest, Michael Galmer. As I've said, he's one of the nation's foremost silver sculptors. He's been creating works in silver and gold since immigrating with his family to the United States from the former Soviet Union in 1981. Although he earned his undergraduate degree in engineering and then a doctorate in physics and chemistry from Moscow University, in the United States, he chose to pursue his artistic interests, inventing creative and unique alternatives to silver making. His extraordinary talent was swiftly discovered by the fine jewelry businesses in the United States, companies like Tiffany, the Lenox Company, Gorham, Kirk Steiff, and numerous retailers nationwide. Museums and historical organizations have also recognized his unique contemporary talent. Today, Michael Galmer's works are part of the permanent collection at a host of institutions around the nation, including the Cooper Hewitt, that's the Smithsonian Museum's Design Museum, the Renwick Gallery of the Smithsonian American Museum of Art, the Newark Museum, and our own museum at the Holocaust Memorial and Tolerance Center of Nassau County. Okay, with that introduction, I'd like to move to the interview and show you what Michael Galmer's granddaughter got from him as she talked to him about this sculpture. So let me start our video.
Hi, I'm Katja Kroner, interviewing my grandfather, Michael Israel Galmer, who also happens to be the best silver artist in the world. Today we'll be talking about his newest sculpture, Tears of the Holocaust. Delushka, what inspired you to make this sculpture?
Many artists express their feeling about Holocaust with horror. I really wanted to avoid that and inspire young generation with the hope and with the strength.
What is the message of this sculpture and how did you convey that?
My strong message is that human spirit prevails. In my sculpture, I introduce my people in a form of the tree. Tree is strong and a very complicated shape, which grows from under the huge stone. Stone is a hard life of Jewish people living in a foreign land without equal rights. Main point of my sculpture is a tear. Tear is a reaction on the insult and humiliation. Many tears create the lake in the stone, and from the stone flows the creeks, which reach the base and give life to new generation. As you can see, we have a lot of leaves that represents a lot of lives.
How did you make this sculpture? How did you turn it from your vision into this ultimate work of art?
Before I start this project, I made a lot of sketches. It's not easy to reflect in a metal whatever you have in your heart. So the main point was to create a beautiful, nice Jewish family, and I made them in a silver. You can see this tree is very complicated shape, and it's a dramatic, and it's strong, and it's powerful. After that, I create the tear. It's a beautiful tear. It's a shiny, magnificent, takes your attention right away. Next, I create the stone, which reflect the hard life of Jewish people to living foreign land without equal rights. And the final point of my sculpture is the leaves I made in a gold metal. So you can see the beauty of our future. You can see the good future with hope, with strength. That was my point.
So how do you think people will feel when they experience Tears of the Holocaust?
Before I start this project, I talked to my friends about the philosophy, what I had in my heart. And all of them, they loved this new idea, new concept of my philosophy. Of course, I can tell you one thing, that art cannot change a human, but you can talk about the problem. Visitors can ask questions. We can give the answers. We can discuss all the problems, why it happened, what should be done to stop it. In this case, we can say that our goal was achieved.
Why did you choose to donate this piece for permanent exhibition at the Holocaust Center?
First of all, I want to tell you that my family is a part of this Holocaust Center. The mission of my art and the mission of the Holocaust Center are the same, to educate young generation, give them hope. Holocaust story, it's unthinkable what happened. But one thing I want to tell you, most important from my heart, look around, how big community we are, how many people, how many hearts, they stand for a life, for a hope, and for a goodness. This is the most important, to give in any heart who visits our center, hope and the love.
Thank you, Dedushka, for all the hard work that you do and your beliefs on the important message that you portray. And I know that our future generation will do everything possible that the insult and humiliation does not happen again. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I love that. And it's so nice to see Michael with his granddaughter and have her asking the questions. I hope you appreciated that. But at this point, I'd like to bring Michael Galmer into our picture. Hopefully he's hearing me and will be able to join. There we go. Hello. Welcome.
Hello.
Welcome, and thanks very much for being part of this program. And of course, thank you for the sculpture, which is a lovely addition to our museum and our institution.
Our goal, yes. Thank you, all of you who find the time and visit our wonderful event.
Yeah, thanks definitely to the people out there. Thank you. I want to again remind people, if they have questions for Michael Galmer, please type them in using the Q&A function, and I will read them out and Michael will respond. Before I open some of the questions that are coming in, let me just pose a question for you, Michael, that I've been thinking about, which is about, can you tell us a little about your own background, your own connection to the Holocaust? I know that you don't only work on Holocaust-related art, you work in a whole range of art, but what made you decide to tackle this topic of the Holocaust through a piece? And what's your connection to this history?
When we arrived in America, my daughter, she was 6 years old. And being in Miami that period, from the beginning in our life in new countries, we decided to visit Holocaust Museum in Miami. And I'll tell the truth, me and my wife, we was worried a little bit. She's only 6. How are we going to explain this, all this terrible thing, what happened with our people? So, but we decided to go anyway. So when we went in, I start to explaining all this, what happened in that period, what terrible things was done with the kids, with the women, old men, women, all of the people who suffered that period. And she started crying. We couldn't stop her. She was so crying so much. And we decided to leave the museum. It was a terrible day in my life, very stressful, and I decided I made a big mistake to take my daughter to the Holocaust Museum, and I decided I have to create something to explain the little kids different way. I don't want to tell you, we don't have to explain the rough way. No, it has to stay that way. But for little children, we need some different way. So, and the main goal for me was to not to kill the power in the heart of our new generation. So, and I don't want them to lose power in face of the evil. And the goal was to explain and the end of it always, you know, the evil cannot defeat the love and the peace. You know, that was the main goal, and that's what we have to teach our kids. So, and I started drawing and I do a lot of stuff, and it took long time to complete this job, but it was involved a lot, and it was not easy to create stuff, because when you're creating that, you cry, you have problems, you know, you cannot adapt what really disaster was that period. And that's why my goal was basically to spread the history of the Holocaust as many people as we can reach. That is the goal. That's why you have the pins. I designed the pin, right? So my goal was, because of the 35,000 young kids visiting your museum, you're doing such a blessing for everybody. You do such a good stuff. It's God bless you. And they taking that pin to the school, let's say, right? And hopefully my goal was, from 35,000 kids, maybe 10% or even 5% other kids would achieve the guy and ask him, what is this about? What is this pin? Maybe we can spread this way history of the Holocaust. We will be winner in this case. This is our main goal. That's how I start this idea, and I don't say complete. We have a lot to do in the future. We don't have to relax, and we have to very aggressively, very actively, logically to spread this history to a lot of people. They don't know even it exists, unfortunately. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, it's a real challenge, particularly with children. And where did you draw the line of how much of the dark history can you open up, and how much is really that wise to do, versus are there other topics and other approaches? And you suggest that vision of hope as a way to get to those children.
Hope.
I see there's a question that somebody is posing here, asking you about if there are Holocaust survivors that influenced your work, or if there are other artists that influenced your work.
Yes, I know about 4 people. One is a very close my person, my daughter-in-law. She has a grandmother, and she was a Holocaust survivor. She is a Holocaust survivor. We love this lady. She's so strong. She's, we love this person, and we hope she will have a lot of long life to show to our kids real person who suffered from the Holocaust. And I have my friends, very close friends, parents was passed away in I don't want to say the chambers, whatever. And I have 3 or 4 very close people who I know. They inspired too.
They are represented in your work with that strong branch, right? With that wooden branch, who survived and are strong, but also will be passing on to the next generation.
And it's true. They are strong. All of them are strong. I don't know who went through all these disasters. They are morally, mentally very strong people. God bless them. Long life them. Amen.
Somebody else poses a question about the resonance, particularly today, during a period of COVID-19 and the pandemic. And if you think about your sculpture, does it also, or can it represent the hope for families who are struggling now in the pandemic? Is that in there as well?
I think so. This tear of the Holocaust belongs to so many problem people, so many, divorce, death, everything. That tear is so strong. It reflects so many. Anybody can, that takes this so close to heart, and they can reflect the same feeling with other tragedy. Tragedy is tragedy. And I think so today's problem is related to, we can transfer that philosophy to this problem. This problem belongs to everybody. There is no nationalities. There is no religious. To everybody, struggle with that. But related to this thematic, I have in my plan to make what happened in Israeli sportsmen in München. We don't have any sculpture, anything to show the people in Germany when was the Olympic.
The 1972 Olympics, yeah.
Yeah, there's so many sportsmen was killed. It is a very interesting, but I am afraid to start it. I have some drawings. I am afraid I want to little bit get away little bit, and I will start, I promise, and I will have something very strong. we're missing very important stuff.
Somebody asked in particular about the rock in the sculpture Tears of the Holocaust and what it represents. And they ask, is it about psychological, emotional, and physical struggles? What do you think of, or what were you thinking of when you thought about the rock?
Yeah, it's always like that. On my grandmother, my grandpa, when I was little, they always was taking in a family, these problems hurts my heart, is push on me, it's so heavy stuff, something
The anti-Semitism.
Yeah, it's absolutely, that's why, and I use it. And that's why my family, that tree, the silver tree, which is growing from under the rock, it's so lovely explains, you know, really our past. It's, I couldn't, that 100% I feel very strongly that I made the right decision. The stone is unbelievable.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but the stone is actually made out of metal, is that right?
Yeah, it's a bronze. It's everything. It's a stone is a bronze in the sculpture, and the base, big one, it's a bronze too. But the family is a silver. It's a hollow sterling silver. You know, and the tier is a silver. On the creeks, maidens. It's a unique. It's a unique. I don't know, because a lot of people, they want to get paid to create something like that. It's not right, you know. So many people, they could afford to do something for a history, for a young generation, for a future, to fix some problems, to correct some problems, and do something positive. So, but not too many people anxious to
well, we're grateful for your generosity, for sure. But it is amazing that you're able to shape the metal, and you know, the tree obviously looks like metal, right? I mean, the branch, it's silver, so we know it's metal. But the stone looks like a stone, and you make it look like a stone, so it's deceiving to the eye. But anyway, amazing.
This is a patina. It's very hard to get the different color of patina.
Yep.
Green and brown, it's possible, but we making little bit stone color, it's not easy, but we made it. God helped me. God helped me.
Yeah. Somebody asked about other artists that you either draw inspiration from, or other artists that you have inspired, or artists that you like to work with. Are there other artists that have shaped your career?
Okay, let me tell you about the art. Art is never starts from the zero. Any new art is a continuous as existing one. So, but if you want to create something new, you don't have to see what other people done, because it's going to change your brain. You have to be fresh. You better not to open a Google and see the Holocaust sculptures. If you will do that, you are not going to create something new and very special and attractive. That's what I did, not only with Holocaust, and all my artwork, I was trying to stay away. Of course, you will have some base knowledge from the past to create, to use for today, to making some progress.
Yeah. So I know that you and I have spoken about something that's close to the Holocaust Memorial and Tolerance Center's mission, and is also strongly something that you hold, and that is about inspiring upstanders, inspiring people to learn from the Holocaust and to say, if I'm confronted by something ugly, something bad going on, I will step up. I will join with others. I will not just let it go by, not be a bystander. Can you share a little more about your thoughts about that and how that fits into this sculpture?
Absolutely. I have, as a matter of fact, I have one beautiful sculpture I would call Lust for Life. That is related very much to the Holocaust philosophy. So, as you know, that all of us, we have in our life problems, correct? No one cannot to say, I never had any problem. We all have the problems, and we try to somehow to, solve the problems. But unfortunately, not everybody succeed, right, on that to win it. So, and my point is always to fight, never give up. If I survived immigrant, you can do even better to living in America. And there's so many young people I see, they're hopeless and they have no future, they're disappointed. You have to fight and never give up. This is my point, okay? And I create a beautiful piece at the last, for life. What we if you have a picture you can
Yeah.
show them.
Let me pull it up. Let me pull it up. I think I have
I'm
it.
going to talk. And what my goal was that again I use a no
Yeah,
next
there we go.
here, this one, okay? The left one, it's, as you can see, there is a stone again. You can see this is a big piece. It's a brown on the bottom. This is a stone again. And I have a seed under this heavy stone. And everybody gonna tell, there is no way this seed to survive, right? I'm saying, no, there is a way. So not only to survive, this seed gets so strong, he is breaking the stone from inside, and that gives a lot of branches coming out from the stone, right? If this small seed can do that, we can do in our life to fight for life, okay? And you can see the one branch is so big. At the end, we have a positive end. Positive end, it's a flower. So this seed is a winner. So a lot of times we go to backyard and watering some seeds, they cannot survive, it's dying. But this one, we need a good gene. That's why we're teaching our kids to be strong. Don't give up right away, strong, and look at how their father or grandfathers, they fight for a life. They are today here, that's why you exist here. So let's be strong. That is a main point. It's a lovely valley. And there we have some other decoration on the left piece, my surrealism, imagination. It's my love. I wanted to make a little bit happy beginning and beautiful end, positive end, the flower on the top.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. And I know somebody's asking about the gold leaves on the Tears of the Holocaust, which are very much related to that Lust for Life sculpture, right? It's Can you say a word about the gold leaves that are coming out from the bottom of the rock?
Yeah. This is from they coming the leaves, which I especially made. This is not gold himself. It's a gold plated, 24-karat gold plating over the silver. It's a silver leaves, but the gold plated. It's I didn't want to make too many leaves. It will be too happy sculpture. We need a dramatic, very elegant and conservative style. So that's what I didn't use a million of them. But you can see that the lot. You cannot kill us. We will multiply. Don't do that. Forget it. We will be strong, and we will teach our kids to be strong. And they promise, like my granddaughter promised, they will do everything possible. Don't allow to repeat this disaster again. That's what we need to invest in our kids.
Yeah. Somebody asks about if you see your art as therapy of some sort, either for you or for the viewer.
Absolutely. I didn't want to tell, but you asked for. Okay, so it was an exhibition in a big museum, very big exhibition. We had a lot of visitors, and I displayed this sculpture over there, and I was talking very, very touchy way, very sensitive way, and at the end of the lecture, I was giving a lecture, and the two ladies, I don't want to say old ladies, but my age ladies, they hugged me after but I didn't know so many people was hugging me. It's okay. But she sent the email to me and she sent the email to Cooper Hewitt Museum, Renwick Gallery, so the appreciation that she was on in a bad mood always, you know, like no happiness, and when depressed, right, in a depression. So after my lecture, she sent me the emails that from Monday, it was a Sunday lecture. From the Monday, I start a new life. When I open my eyes, I want to see, like you suggest, you open the eye, you have to see the flowers. You have to see the good future. You don't have to look at on the medicine or whatever. You take medicine, but you have to see the positive. As she loved me, she sent me so many. Not only that, we have this about 3 or 4 different letters receiving from that people who got the idea, and they changed. I hope they changed. We asked them in a year, we sent the email, and how are you doing? And they still doing well. I was so happy. I told my wife that, my God, I'm happiest, luckiest guy in the earth.
That's super. I mean, that even if you just change one person, it's a
even one person,
and
it's a life.
And somebody's asking about how many people in our museum have seen this. And to be honest, you know, the number we serve between 20 and 30,000 school children every year, plus maybe 5 to 10,000 of other visitors who are coming into the building. And so hopefully, as you say, 5%, 10% take something away. But I think a lot of people don't know enough about it. And so I'm delighted that you're able to join us tonight and share this. I do want to raise one more question, and I don't want to take too much more time, but I wanted to ask you about your more recent works. This sculpture was done in 2017, and I know The Lust for Life was one of the other sculptures you did, but I also have some slides of 2 other sculptures that I know you've been working on, or you have worked on since then. One is this one, the 10 Commandments.
10 Commandments.
10 Commandments. Yeah, do you want to tell us a little about what inspired this and what's this about?
Absolutely. This is a sculpture for a peace and a love. I always fight for that. So my point was, if you will show the first picture, this one. If you take a look, this sculpture, vertical way, right, from the very bottom to the Jerusalem, this is a dark period. This is a period before Moses got 10 Commandments. So it was no rules, chaos, all things, nothing bad, you know, there is no rules at all that time. And based on the 10 Commandments, our people, they create wonderful city. Look at the wonderful details, unbelievable, all stairs, everything. Look at that. And we create a beautiful city and a sample for too many peoples, too many peoples. And not only that, you can see that at the center of the Jerusalem, we have a wonderful, again, the silver tree is growing and has 10 branches, which represents 10 commandments, right? And you can see the address where it comes from Jerusalem, but we don't have destination address. That means it belongs to everyone. If everybody will follow 10 commandments, all of us, we will love each other, we will have peace, we will never have a Holocaust, we will never have abused anything, you know. It's that is this sculpture. When I created, my goal was to all the 3 different religions, let them to sit down, get together, love each other, forget all the problems, to create something new, lovely and peaceful. I don't know, that was my goal. This is a sculpture for a peace.
I hear the optimism that from, that's in this, in Tears for the Holocaust, conveyed also in this, the 10 Commandments.
Yeah.
Certainly carry that through.
Yeah.
But I know you also do work that's not related to the Holocaust, not related to Israel, and I wanted to show one other piece that I know you've been working on.
Yeah,
Can you tell us a little about this?
Yeah, this is a this is again, it's a love. So you can see that this is a human size. It's a very, about almost little less than 6 foot tall sculpture. This is hollow. You can see through. If you see this from front, you see the back black color. That means you can see through. This is not a solid, but this is again silver. And the base, you can see that green color is a bronze with a patina again, and the roots you can see. So this is a creation, human beings creation. It starts with love, with the flowers, with the happiness. It's not finished yet, but we're going that way. So we are related with our earth. We have to take care of each other. So maybe in this case, we can continue our relationship peacefully with land, with the earth together, be green a little bit. That's my goal. It is this one. It's a lovely, lovely piece, lovely piece.
It's beautiful. And since you mentioned, I should just highlight, you mentioned that this sculpture is almost 6 foot tall. And I know that, I think I have a picture with you standing next to while you were constructing the Tears of the Holocaust, just to give people a sense of the scale of the Tears of the Holocaust, also a very large sculpture. And how tall is or how large is the 10 Commandments? Is it also?
10 Commandments, 5.5 foot. It's a big one.
Yeah, these are big pieces.
But it has to be, you have to see the Jerusalem. It's very hard to find out the old paintings or the drawings about the Jerusalem, very hard. The oldest one I was able to find out in a museum. It was maybe the 16th century, beginning of the 17th century. I couldn't get, and it was my imagination. I made a little bit oval way, 10 Commandments, right? The Jerusalem. And we have 12 tribes all around. You can see the walls. If you can show that again, you see all this, all those, that are, 12. You can calculate all the 12 tribes. It's you don't have to write down that, but that means a 12 tribe of Jewish people.
Okay. Somebody's asking about where to see your work, other than the Tears of the Holocaust, which they can see when our building reopens, and sadly we're still closed to the public. But the most recent work, the Blooming Soul, I know you said that's still a work in progress, but where can people find your work?
So first of all, I want to tell you that if they by phone, we can make appointments. We can maybe select 10 or 15 people. We can invite them, or maybe 3-4 people. It's very hard to make for each person. You can visit our studio. We have a gallery, nice gallery in Long Island City. Or I can suggest even something better. One day we can make an exhibition in your museum. We can invite them. We will start from the Tear of the Holocaust, and step by step we will go all this through stuff. We can show. I have all pieces, samples. I have all of them. Whatever you show on the TV now, we have everything.
That would be super. That would be super. And I'll send around in a follow-up email a link to your website. And so people who are interested will be able to see more of your material online and can reach out to you.
Okay.
I want to thank you again, Michael, for sharing your time with us and for the sculpture, which remains such a lovely addition to our collection. I'd like to thank all the people who were watching this evening and for your questions. We're going to record this presentation and we'll make it available. I'll send around a link to that as well. So if you know people who might be interested who weren't able to watch this evening, I'll be sure to include the link so they can. But Michael, thank you so much. And I hope to see you again soon.
Absolutely. Thank you all of visitors. Thank you. And please welcome to our gallery, and you will be able to see all my work. Thank you.
Have a good night.
Thank you. Thank you and the Euro Museum. We are brilliant people. You do so good. Think what you do. We need it. We need it even today. It's not the best time. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good night, everybody. Be
Good
well.
night, everybody. Thank you.